Welcome back to your pick a card. As we get started, thank all of you guys for tuning in. We have group 1 with the elk, group 2 the zebra, and group 3 with the buffalo. This reading was inspired by reactions or consequences, so I feel that intuitively there is a choice, right? Some very important choice, and I think when I say important, it could have to do with soul purpose, calling, a situation or event going on. Just, it's really important. I feel like it's really important, and for some of you, it's like the journey ahead, right? So, the cards have been shuffled out. These are your selections. I will give you a moment to make your selection, and if you need more time than provided, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, we will listen to some beautiful inspiration if you can hear it, and or I'll try to be really quiet so that you guys can choose, and we'll get started. And we will start with group 1. Group 1, the elk. I really love this card a lot. I love the symbolism behind the elk. Very noble. It has a connection to the father. And the father isn't really the king. I learned that in the Wild Unknown deck. The king symbolizes something else. And I feel like the father is more of the base energy of the masculine before the crown, even though the antlers are lit. So it gives King of Pentacles vibes. And maybe that's what it symbolizes for the emperor is more so the husband, right? So, stable, resilient, and headstrong. Now, intuitively, when I saw the elk card, it gave me teacher. I feel like nothing's wrong with it, but I'll tell you the story behind it, okay? Imagine a person that had hopes, wishes, dreams, or has, right, however you want to look at it, hopes, wishes, dreams, and reaches a stage in life where they feel it's more age appropriate or just appropriate period to be more of a teacher. They have gained the wisdom and may have a lot of information about this particular trade, this particular calling, or life in general, but may not have done or is aiming for whatever the initial goal was. So it's kind of and I don't know if this man ever wanted to play ball or if he was always a coach, because some people are better at coaches, which is that father energy, and you could be man or woman. So it's giving the thing that I always tell about LeBron versus his coach. The coach could have had aspirations to be a baller, and for whatever reason, he was a better coach or made his legacy as a coach to some of the best players in the game versus him actually being one. If that makes sense, that's how I intuitively felt about the elk. That's what came to mind. The elk traditionally represents the earth element of the masculine. This means it provides underlining support and stability amidst life's many challenges. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold these values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they are damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. There may be a situation on your mind in the near future, or possibly even in the recent past, that requires you to be strong, resilient, stable, and it's like your noble character could be your strength. I have had situations in my environment as far as discussions, maybe not so much personally, but there's always been the discussion of, well, this person made it because they do this. And somebody that doesn't have that personality, you can't make it in that. And I won't single them out, but I usually refer to some raunchy hip hop artist or something like that. And then another person that may be a skilled writer, a skilled entertainer, but just doesn't have that modern day entertainment, real world reality TV vibe. Doesn't mean that you can't make it because of your integrity and your conscious mind. You probably need more confidence to pull through your own way. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that's that pivotal point where it's like, I'll be a producer or I'll write a book instead of choosing the route initially of entertainment or, you know what I'm saying, or artist. It's it's where two things could be true. Like it's your destiny, same time, it's how we look at it. And I just feel with whatever your choice is, or whatever the consequences that you have to choose from, or that may be in alignment with you, involves elk energy. Now, the cards that you have here, the mouse, I connected, even though they're in the same family of earth energy, intuitively, when I saw all of the cards, which you are going to see in just a second, I did think of nervous energy. So when I see nervous energy, integrity, and nobility, I feel like it's like hypersensitive sometimes because the elk's antlers are lit. So those of you that may be experiencing some shifts energetically or spiritually, whether it's downloads or just like a phase of your awakening, be mindful that elk energy is very stable and grounded, and any challenges here or what's crossing it is nervous energy, having a small mind, or being detail oriented. Now I love, detail oriented and noble. That's a damn good designer, or like you said, parent, husband, lover, because they listen, they pay attention, they don't forget. You know what I mean? So I think that those are great combinations because the mouse is also resourceful, prepared, and organized. However, I have seen some guru types that are very egotistical, that are very busy with no purpose. And it also sounds like self-doubt for someone that is being intentional and maybe working towards something, but could feel like you're spinning your wheels. It's a confirmation that doing it your way, being, of integrity and noble, as well as this protective, supportive, like detail-oriented energy, I think that it's favorable. So you know where you fit, don't force it. The mouse also has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice that they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. They can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When the mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. So if you find yourself caught up in the details, step back for a moment and out comes the hummingbird. All right. The hummingbird energy, usually for me, it's the leading to source spirit. Just like the mouse, the hummingbird is very resourceful, positive, and enthusiastic. When in balance, it's smart, curious, and loves to learn. But when out of balance, could be pushy, insistent, and sharp. So do you see how those energies kind of play depending on what side of the fence you're on? The hummingbird energy it talks about a sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. So that could be a softening to any tension regarding a choice, a path, or the present moment. It's just to let it flow, to be creative, to learn. And something that I tell myself, because I sometimes can get caught up in, is this the best thing? Is this the right thing? You know? Sometimes you ain't gonna know till you know. And I trust myself. I trust the process. I trust spirit. And I'll just say, one step leads to another step. That's something I always tell myself. So that kind of removes negative energy of feeling like, you know, something. But at the same time, that negative energy of feeling like something could be saying, hey, you pushing it. Because I'll do that too. Okay. The next card you have is the Daughter of Cups, which is also this energy of trying to keep that fish in the cup, learning. It could be an offer for some of you guys, and this individual may be connected to you telepathically, or may be connected to source, a very resourceful person that could just be shy and standing in the backdrops, you know, waiting to make this offer. Are you waiting to make an offer? Is there something that needs to be given up? There could be a transformation, or maybe something changed. There could have been an ending, and maybe that's why they're nervous, okay? We do have Scorpio. Scorpio, like the mouse, and the potential of the Daughter of Cups, may be a very nervous energy. So just be mindful of that. We have Pisces and Scorpio energy, so that's funny. Now here is the butterfly where it talks about growth. And the mouse could grow through those anxieties, which is why they're known to be wise and they have a very high survival rate. So for you, this transformation may come in the mix of your anxieties and how you smooth through things. You'll see your growth. And I'm seeing the 6 little sparkles around the mouse. So whether that's like the 6 of Swords, which is being guided, okay, by a very resourceful, almost the same but more benevolent energy. So it's like your higher self. Y'all both, you know what I'm saying? That's nice to be synchronized like that. And then I also know, even with the 6 of Pentacles being support, the 6 of Cups being, you know, a nostalgic growth process or memory and daydreaming, which could refer to, you know, holding back and not giving, as well as just growth from whatever decision that you may be making or have made in the past. You have the 8 of Pentacles, so for some of you, it's definitely about work or being consistent. And I feel that staying consistent would keep one from overindulging, as well as help you gain trust within yourself for what it is you're trying to master. It's like something being done repetitively. Now, for some of us, the choices, decisions, and consequences could have to do with something that is done repetitively. And if it's not favorable, it could be this pushy, like nitpicky energy that could cause some sort of change in a relationship, and or even micromanaging the universe. So just be mindful of that. The next card you have is the 7 of Pentacles, which talks about past efforts being rewarded. So there may be an offer for some of you, but there's also this phase of deliberation or some sort of pause where we reflect on what we've done and our expectations. And I think that is connected to is it the waning moon where we do that, or the waxing moon? I think it's the waning moon, where things have been done, things have come in, and is it what you expected? Okay. And I feel that it may meet your expectations with this Page of Cups here, which may be an offer of some sort. And for others of you, the challenging aspect is that fear of being the thing and settling for just becoming the teacher because of the amount of work involved, and how sometimes you do have to learn the same lessons, make the same mistakes, or just be consistent and repetitive. And some of us, more creative beings, or those that are emotionally motivated, that may be going through several changes in life, I have experienced that where it's hard to stay consistent and detailed when life is fluctuating. Okay? If you are, a believer in reincarnation, whatever your life path slash, karmic number and soul number, all that sort of tells you what to expect and which way to travel for some. And with the elk facing in the past, the death card facing in the past, everybody's facing in the past but the page. The page being in the present moment says that right now we're trying to see if something is going to add up, okay? Or just trying to add something up. It's like that's that reflective energy. If this is a relationship where some behaviors, clearly what it looks like, some behaviors probably got in the way, that for some created an ending, for others a growing opportunity. So not saying that you guys won't get back together, but it'll definitely be a learning situation that you grow wisdom from, and just hopefully it doesn't cause you any traumas to where with this mouse right there, we're now kind of like timid and nervous about, relationships or dating and or wherever this falls. Okay. So group 1, I do hope that helped, and we will move to group 2. Group 2, you have the infamous zebra. What I love about the zebra is that it is facing forward into the present moment. And I love the zebra's eyelashes. I ain't gonna hold you. I always say that it looks very poised and graceful. It's so different and it's very unique, because I know a lot of people resonate with the unicorn or dragon, you know what I'm saying, that symbolizes something mystical. And this is what the zebra in this particular deck gives to me. Now, it does represent technically eccentric, creative, and a visionary, worldly, enthusiastic, and fashion forward. Okay? But when in shadow, could be jaded, pouty, and vain. And what brings it back into ordinance with itself is an epic adventure or art. Zebras are the most precious of gems, so it has a connection to the star energy. They're young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens our minds. So be prepared. This potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to global health through environmental and volunteer work. So this card may be a hint to pack your bags. So let's see. Are you guys meeting someone new? Or do you have some thoughts about travel? Okay. I like that idea. To go where no man's gone. No. Okay. So where no man's gone before. So let's get started. Okay. But there's some fears. Let's lay it all out. You have the raccoon spirit. But then, and I can see why, there's the cosmic egg. And so the cosmic egg is like, I feel like someone may be scared to take a risk, but you have one of the strongest connections to source, the fool or the magician, when it comes to like that step presenting itself once you put the foot forward. But the raccoon is definitely going to hide itself. Some of you could have gifts and abilities as far as like music, writing, or some sort of talent. And we just kind of like have to let that egg hatch, and get that serpent to, stand straight up. Sometimes it requires having a backbone. Other times it may require like a deeper spiritual connection to get the loophole activated. I called that the loophole, where Neo found his loophole, okay? And he had some friends that he could call, and when that payphone rung, he got where he needed to be. Now, you have the actual Fool card, which may talk about a new beginning. And for some of you, this new beginning has to do with your actual purpose. It also talks about the story of the Fool, where in this deck, it's on a branch, and it may need to take its first flight. Ooh, somebody taking their first flight? Okay. There's another story about the Fool, like where this bird was in a tree, didn't have any parents or whatever, no one was taking care of it, and then up came something. I forgot what it was, but it wasn't a bird. And it fed it and kept it cool until it was able to do whatever it needed to do. So group 2, you could have some fears about how something is going to go, how you're going to get there, who's going to help you do it. And I feel that those energies could be very realistic, but at the same time, they could be coming from some inner issues. I would even point to childhood wounds and traumas, because some of you may be starseeds that incarnated with the feeling of separation, and that would be on top of whatever your real life or physical world experiences were. If you weren't really celebrated and may have been, a lack of support for your gifts, your abilities, and your talents, and you felt like you were just here, you know what I mean? Because that raccoon is sitting back in the darkness. I can't even see all of it really, but I can kind of make out what it is. So let's see. The tarantula is definitely about protection, and it also talks about survival. Sometimes survival mode could hinder us taking new steps and going in a new direction, because we're not really looking at our wants and our needs. We're not looking at where we want to go and what are we going to do when we get there. It's more so a person who says, my 3D life may not be where I want it to be, and I have to focus on surviving. So any talents, gifts, abilities, or spiritual journey is kind of like taking a back seat. But if you of all people that may not, that could be the hardest thing, because you're totally like connected to this cosmic egg. The Fool has a connection to source. The tarantula is usually the protective energy of those beings. When I see this card, is how I feel. And then coming in as the zebra, that has a connection to the star card. So a fear and wishful thinking, and or a true star that's hiding itself and may have a gift awaiting he or she for like cracking this egg. Look at this, is the egg, right? And jumping off the porch. It's like you may have been protected since the beginning, even if you don't feel like it, unfortunately. And I hate to say that, and some people sit there and say, no, I haven't been, or no, I wasn't. And then I say something like, well, it could have been worse. And who wants to hear that? Okay, let's see what else we got. We're going to pin it together. The elephant definitely talks about trust, and we'll break that down in a second. The owl, that survival mode, this may have something to do with money luck, and see how it's connected to these risks and this new beginning. I had that happen to me, I'm not going to lie to you. And I listened to the call, and I'll tell you how it's going to go. I'll tell you how it goes whenever it goes. But I have many different hats. All of them feel like creative projects. None of it feels like work, because they're all things that I like to do or that I'm personally good at. Research, investigation, went to law school. Business, I like money, and I try to figure out things. Spirituality, psychology, human behavior, you name it. But recently, I've been guided to get into healthcare and beauty. And I was just like, what? I just got a trademark for my fashion line. I just came back to YouTube flipping these cards for you guys after taking a break. And then now it's this intuitive thing that's like, add this, because it didn't say put that stuff down. It was just like, do this now, or think about it, or start it, And I said, okay, and taking little baby steps or whatnot. But if I strictly just considered surviving, if I strictly considered who's going to pay for it, if I felt shy about any aspect of myself or my career choices, like I have a lot of clients who are interested in holistic healthcare, quantum healing, or getting into herbs and roots, making things, but they have family members, roommates, partners, kids, whoever, who they don't feel 100% comfortable sharing their ambitions with, right? But it could be like really your thing. And even if it is the arts, like music or something like that, let me look into the raccoon, because I know the raccoon had a specific connection. And I haven't really met any musicians that were shy about it, but the raccoon is talented. So let's see what else it has to offer, because it's like, I don't know. I don't think you guys will hide your talents, would you? Because of a lack of faith, But the raccoon is talented, shadowy, right? And kind of in hiding. Oh, and this has been coming up a lot. I could have some Pisces in here, or you may have Pisces in your chart, because everybody keeps saying, well, I ain't going to say everybody keeps saying, some of my favorite readers for different signs have been talking about this energy of being tucked away and kind of like introverted. Some of you could be working on something. I won't throw that in my reading, but I did have a lady that mentioned that. One of the readers that I love, she mentioned that it was necessary and it was beautiful because it's beneficial to you. I don't see that here. I'm seeing more so the self-image, unresolved issues, and your success. It could talk about wearing a mask, and from what I've learned about the whole mask phase, sometimes we wear a mask to hide ourselves, but sometimes you can wear a mask for confidence, and it fits that element that's out of place. I think it's the Kipper deck that had a lady and a bird, or some birds and a lady, and they gave her a mask that looked like a bird to symbolize she was one of them regardless of who she really was. So that was a benefit to like wearing the mask. But I know sometimes, well, yeah, so that ain't even what it is. For you guys, it's definitely the mask that helps you to be brave. Okay, so I don't care if you have to wear shades or if you got to like whatever you got to do, because it's crossing the elephant that talks about trust. And it's someone who hasn't yet come fully awakened. You don't have all the answers. You don't know, the whole story of where you're going. But you're going somewhere and you're being guided with this fire, this initial idea, this thought, being connected to source, and then even being protected from outside interference. So it's like if you're afraid of something, I feel like it has whatever you're experiencing may be beneficial or spiritual, but you have some sort of fear toward it. And that's what I got with that. Now, there are creative limits and questions that we would ask ourselves. For some of you, what does it say? Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. So questions that you are going to be asking yourself or may have asked yourself about your skillfulness. It even talks about musical instruments or creative tools. And the raccoon energy is at play within all artists to greater or lesser degrees. So you could be at the top level of whatever you do, or you could be at the bottom, because this energy fits everyone. Now, When in light, it is generous, exceptional, and it's a good friend. When in shadow, it's competitive, and it's like that starving artist. So we did kind of talk about having money luck, and it's at the center of the reading, kind of like the heart of the reading, the cosmic egg and the owl. And I feel that you are being watched and asked to use your discernment when it comes to this choice or this situation. Because every time I see an owl, I'm not going to lie, in this particular deck, the owl does mean money luck. But if it's just between me and spirit and intuitively what I feel when the owl comes up, some of you could be dealing with an artist. And when I see an owl, if I'm dealing with a knucklehead, that means whatever I say don't even matter because there's something about to happen. And whatever it is, I don't block me or leave yet, right? Because we ain't finished group 2. But it could be a bad idea because we saw something in somebody else that we didn't see in ourselves. And it's like this lesson learned where trusting your own instinct could have been favorable. Now, abundance is at play for some of you that may have felt the energies of survival mode. Your treasures are also in these new places that's going to require you to take risk or get out because we're hiding. And then clairvoyance. That could be a gift or an ability. I want you to see it here because I don't want you to think I just changed it. But we ain't going to put the whole storyline behind the mud duck that some of you guys probably dealing with, or one of you. But the owl, just like the raccoon over there, is very generous. And just like the elephant, very trusting. But it's also secure, right? And I don't think connected to the food card, there's a lot of security, which is where money quarrels and scarcity may come up for some of us. And to bring it back in balance, we have to offer something. Now, next to offering it up means letting go of whatever is causing the tension. A behavior of ours, the person we're dealing with, whatever. Because there may be there's a star energy here, there's some wishful thinking here, and a little bit of impulsive energy. But I feel this month more so represents that idolizing others that we need to be mindful of possibly. And then some of us that may need to address the elephant in the room for whatever unfinished projects we have that we were enthusiastic about but could have been a bit whimsical. You know, the tarantula is here, and usually as some sort of, I don't want to say warning, but it's being at the crossroad and claiming a life purpose. So are you contemplating or considering your life purpose group 2? This card, and it's like the last card technically, so it's asking you to follow your intuition. Now when it's in shadow, it hesitates. So that's what I got, and I do hope that it helps group 2. Group 3, you guys have the buffalo. The buffalo is accompanied by some hues of purple and blue. It gives me like the crown chakra. But the buffalo is an earth element, I believe. So it's this top to bottom full alignment. And I feel that is what gives it its temperament. So depending on the situation or person that you're experiencing, it requires or embodies some level of stability, support, understanding there's more than enough, but more than anything else, it's like a divine element of acceptance, tolerance, being unbothered, and actually being okay, like not even making it up. So I definitely appreciate that. Now with this, thunderbolt here, or lightning strike, there may be a new idea, something unexpected that comes up, and a behavior that could help one get through if you're experiencing tower moments or what seems like, something you truly believed in shattered. That's sometimes how the glass ceiling comes down on us, and the buffalo would not be broken by that. Let's see what else you have here. The stingray makes a lot of sense. Now, with the stingray crossing the buffalo, I will say this is a backbone and having a sense of self that would, I want to say, boost one's confidence, but give some sort of reassurance despite the experiences that may surround you, or the recent events. Who you are is what matters, okay? Confidence and developing it is what I believe your goal may be, or the life lesson could be when you experience things that may seem out of your comfort zone, or just, like I said, not exactly what you expected. Now, on an alternate side of the fence, the buffalo is used in many cultures to sustain their way of life. Every piece of it, top to bottom. The skin, the teeth, the meat, the eyeballs. I'm sure they did something with the horns. And so the stingray, developing some sort of backbone and sense of self, would say that there also could be, for another group of you in the collective, a situation that requires you to set healthy boundaries. Okay? Healthy boundaries. Because the Mother of Wands is going to get what she wants, period. From most of the people in her environment, especially her minions. Very protective of what she has, but may require a lot from you. Sounds like an imbalanced relationship where one would have to set a healthy tone. Okay? Back to that other side of the fence where we're talking about confidence here and feeling whole despite our body image, despite our financial situation, despite our conditions. For some of you, if it is health related, I do feel a full body something or other may be of some benefit to you. I don't care if it's a full body massage or if you're working on one particular chakra, hit them all up, or do focus on the full body thing. I'm looking at the Kundalini energy in the stingray as I'm looking at the lightning strike with my Mother of Wands. So some of you, if you're going through certain activations or doing anything different that could activate certain parts of you, keep in mind that the turbulence that comes with the Mother of Wands may be havoc, may be, I want to say, anger. On the bright side, very confident. It's going to boost your ability to be like a magnet for whatever it is that you need, which would give somebody a buffalo benefit of there's always more than enough despite what's going on. This gift and ability that you have with this superpower here, and your full body magic going on is great. As a parent, because some of us may be dealing with family issues, the Mother of Wands is very protective, but when out of balance, it's like not allowing someone room to grow. And I can see somebody saying, hey, it's like the backbone and not allowing somebody room to grow type deal. Okay? Especially someone who's been very tolerant or that may have been through a lot. Just be mindful of favorable shifts, and I don't want to say outbursts, but just things that passionate energy, right? There could be Kundalini energy that's favorable, that gives you this grace, and still, like magnetic energy that aids in things being, outside of your control, outside of you. You have the turtle, or the tortoise, sorry about that, and it also asks to slow down or sometimes things may slow down. So weathering the storm through, that sounds like it could even benefit a marriage. Like if you guys are reaching a different phase of your marriage or a different phase of life, different cycles or whatnot, I do feel that the speed of it, the changes within it, and the wisdom that you have to get you through the situation, as well as the wisdom that you may obtain within the situation, because that's what the tortoise represents. Like all of its experiences are right there in its shell, right? Or right there with him. So everything that you need, you have. Slow and steady wins the race. It's kind of like that Knight of Pentacles energy, okay? Which, like I said again, if there's a relationship and an age difference, there's someone who's spicy and hot and heavy, and then there's another person that may be, I won't say a beginner, but just at a different phase, from like in the court cards, from a queen to a knight. So that's why I said there could be age differences and even what one is focused on, okay? But the turtle, like as far as the spirit animal, usually talks about some sort of good luck. Group 3, you could have this, like I said, magnetic attraction, and you may need to be protective a little bit of your possessions, things that mean a lot to you, because the buffalo, it could go either way in certain situations. And then, like I said, to maintain a full body sort of health, to have this full body like health thing in the right place, I feel that being confident, being calm, being acceptant, but also allowing it to boost your sense of self and your confidence, it's like a real good mixture. You have fire, water, earth. So, you got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune does talk about fate. And I did say once before when I saw these cards, it's like 3 fates, because you have like accepted, tolerant. Then you have someone who's really not taking too much because they're learning, really getting comfortable with their value and their worth, as well as in full alignment. So they're not going to just take a great deal. If you're struggling with certain phases of life, it may take that attitude that could be your energetic or magnetic shift out of, isolation, slowdowns, just phases that may be uncomfortable. But the Wheel of Fortune also says that it could go in your favor. So I definitely like that. Look at the transits too that may fall in your chart, or horoscope for your zodiac sun, moon, rising sign, because the situation could have answers within it. It also talks about the people or things in this situation or event that's on your mind or in the cards are fated, and I feel fated to help you boost your sense of self, which ultimately builds this level of attraction. If I have any entrepreneurs, because it's dead smack center in the middle of the reading, the Mother of Wands is the entrepreneur of all entrepreneurs through the whole tarot deck. I don't care what nobody else say. And there may be this requirement. It reminds me of, what movie was that with Will Smith? Oh, was that The Pursuit of Happiness? Because he went through some things, and it affected his loved ones, his marriage. It affected his psychological and mental, you know what I mean, and even physical, to the point to where the dude went to the interview and didn't have pants on, right? But he felt it was necessary. He had to have some divine connection or trust, believe, and faith, you know what I'm saying, in that product that he was pushing, to not see what everybody else saw. Because his wife saw the facts. This is some bullshit, And I can't speak for his children, but just going, because it was based on a true story of someone else, of course, not Will Smith. But, the child had to endure some things that, I as a child would have been like, look, I didn't incarnate for this shit. You feel me? So, this magical thing that's happening within a person that gets them through and possibly gets them out of cycles that could be uncomfortable or slow. I think that it's super dope. If it doesn't sound like it, that's why I had to throw in that story, because it is super dope. But it comes with that beginning part. You know what I mean? You also have, let's see what we got. Ooh, the sea otter. So, like, pursuit of happiness, okay? The sea otter is very supportive. So, you guys may meet a friend, because I know she's in the Three of Cups, right? If there's a celebration or an event, you guys may meet someone in the near future that is fated. And I feel that it may be a person from the past, be it past life or a past relationship. Some of you, I will not lie, you have a very high vibration and are a super sweet individual, but may have an ending of some sort with a personality or a situation that may be a little bit different from you. Their expectations are a little bit different. Their demeanor is a little bit different. And that's where it's like either that character or energy difference comes to play, or like that age difference. Okay. Does the sea otter have a backbone? Because they are some little flimsy, little cute little things. I don't know, but it's over there by the stingray. And I would hate for the otter to get stung, because it's like unnecessary. Where the Queen of Wands going to send her people to him. So, slow down, because you don't want your name to end up in a jar if you bullying the sea otter. Now, you also have the lamb. The lamb next to the Wheel of Fortune, as I speak of this fated person or event, the lamb is this divine messenger. So it's not anyone shady, even though I know sometimes the Queen of Wands in shadow can be a little shady, especially with this bat by a child. But I don't feel that has anything to do with this part of it. More of the self-development, confident aspect of the stingray next to this sweet little naive otter or whatnot. But the lamb is going to tell us something, usually. And whatever it says, you're going to resonate with it. You've heard it before. Or you may, from this point on, from hearing the lamb, hear it again. Now, it may not be something you want to hear for some of you guys. And it could be, like I said, a person you don't know, so a complete stranger saying something, right? A kid, or just someone that innocently is giving a message from spirit to you in a situation that may or may not involve discomfort or someone being guarded or a situation where more confidence may be needed. And that's like super clear. Because in this deck, that's like the message of the lamb is to be a stranger that passes a word, but you have to still yourself and calm yourself to hear it. So it's almost like high priestess energy, but not the high priestess, totally just a stranger that maybe spirit speaks through. You know what I mean? And I've had that happen before in a goofy way. And then I noticed that with particular people or this person, it happens a lot. So I just listen to them because I just can kind of tell. So hopefully, if you experience this, you resonate with this message or just have this inner knowing within you that it may be something for your best, and try to take them serious, Try not to get offended because I don't see ego here. It's more so just a message, and I won't even say of concern. And I do hope that it helps. That's very interesting side. It's like for me to tell you, yeah, it's gonna be a stranger that says something out of the blue, and it makes so much sense to you, and you've been needing something or missing something, and it may be fulfilling or like catapults you to whatever this next phase or cycle is. So that's kind of cool, and I hope that it helps.